What's going on, Cancer? And welcome to the Chariot Friends. Justin here, and I hope you're feeling introspective today. With the where the moon's at, just see why I'm a second there, Cancer. But for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes and shares. Your support really is just incredible, Cancer, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. We're in for an amazing journey. Now, the purpose of this channel, for those of you who have Cancer in your placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mars, maybe even Pluto, Cancer, wherever, this one's for you. Energy Tarot Cards is based off our ruler here, the good old Moon. And I'll talk about what sign she's in, what phase she's in, and when she's going void of course, just all of those lunar shenanigans. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you. Leave the rest with me. Never force reading on a situation, and everything will be dope, Cancer. Now, oh, did they change the color of the thumbs up? Let's jump into it, Cancer. That kind of ruined that whole thing. Wow, that's good to know. Cancer, your space has been cleansed. Crystals, feeling lovely. Just great energy around here, Cancer. And Cancer, happy Jupiter Day. Jupiter rules over Thursdays. And what an interesting day, too, for Jupiter. This is an abundant day because, all this abundance. We're getting an extra day of the year there, Cancer. It's also the leap year day. I was going to say new who knows what I was about to say. I was going to throw word salad at you, Cancer. But Jupiter brings about abundance, even an extra 24 hours for you today there, Cancer. But this is a great energy, too, for maybe scheduling travel, maybe even thinking about sharing some information there, Cancer. But yeah, Jupiter is the one to just check in to see how abundant you're feeling and, where we can grow and expand there, Cancer. And also, the moon is in a waning gibbous phase in Scorpio, hence that introspective energy, because Scorpio is very introspective. And I feel with this energy here, Cancer, we're just getting off of that full moon energy that happened in Virgo over this past weekend. And I feel that it's taking those energies that we may have noticed where we saw maybe somewhere, under that Virgo full moon where things may not be working as efficiently as they could. I feel like it's reflecting on things that we may be having troubles letting go of their, Cancer. Some things that used to fill us with maybe this sense of satisfaction or whatever it was. How has that maybe changed? Maybe through this cycle, or maybe this is because I feel like with this Scorpio energy here, you can't hide anything from Scorpio. There's is an energy that, hold on, Cancer. Thank you, guys. But theirs is an energy that does bring stuff up from the depths to the surface there, Cancer. And I feel that there's something here that maybe for some, if we've been ignoring some sort of attachment maybe to a certain thing that may be hindering your growth there, Cancer, whether this be, considering where both of Scorpio's rulers are at, because, the dispositor of where the moon is at are Mars and Pluto. And both of them are still in Aquarius, depending on when you're watching this. And Aquarius, this whole thing, what I'm trying to get at, let me see if I can make this make a little more sense, Cancer. It's just, I feel like there's something here that may be affecting the trajectory of your future there, Cancer. There's this ideal you that you have this image of, but I feel that there's something that may be a certain attachment, some sort of, and there may be a deep emotional attachment here. I feel like we're needing this moon in Scorpio energy to kind of dive deep as to where we may have, I feel like, clung to a certain thing that we may have identified with. I'm not sure if this is something, Cancer, that maybe that has been pushed on you by society or maybe by a certain friend group, maybe just a certain group. I feel like that, or a certain dynamic that you maybe just been kind of going with the flow with as of late, but you're feeling yourself needing to detach a little bit. And it's a very kind of complex because when this moon stuff is happening, this is forming squares at some point with, well, when the moon first entered, they would hit Pluto pretty immediately. Consider Pluto still at early phases of Aquarius, but Mars is a little further along there. But there is this dissonance, this tension that's going to be coming between these planets, between the moon and Mars, and how we're taking our actions and our drives, and Pluto, what has power over us, what's keeping us from changing. And I just feel like this can be one where it's like we're letting go of things, and like it's like we're reducing the weight of something here with this moon, this waning gibbous in Scorpio, in order to move a little bit lighter there. Cancer is what I'm kind of feeling, how we can process this waning gibbous energy. So yeah, pay attention to things that may have been, that you may have noticed this particular sort of like attachment, or there's maybe this, there's, I'm picturing some sort of, or at least I'm feeling some sort of like this, it's almost like this death grip or this vice grip or something that's on this thing that, again, it's like we know it doesn't serve us, but for some reason or another there's this emotional attachment that's applying to this, Cancer. So yeah, yeah, I think I'm gonna leave that there, Cancer. But I feel even in this too, though, if we've been having troubles letting go of things there, Cancer, over this lunar cycle, I feel this is interesting too, because it's like this happening on a Jupiter day that we're talking about this, and not just on a Jupiter day, but on this leap year day. I feel like this is giving us some extra time as well to let go of some things there, Cancer, to make space for some new stuff there. Because again, the full moon is not just this, we're at this capacity now, we need to make space for some new stuff. But I even feel that there is a need, even with this energy, because Scorpio is one that is aware of, Scorpio energy covers those topics of like death and sex and the taboo, and just things that we normally don't talk about, or that we may just kind of push to the side because they're too intense, or they may bring down the mood. But Scorpio is just that acknowledgement of death and the things that need to change so that they live life more fully. They live life in the moment. And that's where I feel this can be one where it's where we may have even been kind of restricting some of our freedoms in a sense, and maybe like allowing ourselves to feel these kind of feel something a bit deeper there, Cancer. Feel this experience a little bit more. Do some things that, I don't know, Cancer, that you may have been feeling like you've suppressed or something. But all right, Cancer, I think I'm going to move on from that. But just something to think about with this kind of this waning gibbous moon in Scorpio. But last few things there, Cancer. And you know what, actually, Cancer, before I get into that, last few things, if you're having troubles, been feeling a lot here as of late there, Cancer, maybe because we're under a lot of strong like conjunction energy going on right now, a lot of shifts that are happening energetically. If you're having troubles processing this stuff or wanting to understand how to better work with your energies, book a reading with me, Cancer. I have links down in the description box below, and we can go over where the planets are transiting in your houses, or what are some certain aspects that are making, what are they making with your specific natal placements, and what are some things to maybe keep in mind of why we may be flowing with things a bit smoother, or why we may not be, or what, just kind of really get down to the nitty gritty of these types of energies here there, cancer. So yeah, if that's something that interests you, I have links down in the description box there. I'll start include I did it once, and now I can't now I need to figure out how to pin a comment again, but I'll pin a link for that stuff down in the comment sections as well. And you can also find that information on my link, or not my LinkedIn. Apparently, again, I guess I need to start something on LinkedIn, but on my Instagram page there, Cancer. And then also these, now back to this stuff here. These readings that I do, they're not gender specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations. And then the decks that I'm working with, I've included links for them down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested. I need to include these too. But also down below are some links for some other readers that I like watching their Cancer, so definitely check them out. They're an amazing group. I think you'd enjoy the insights that they bring. There's a link for an astrologer that I enjoy watching or listening to as well, a couple links for some podcasts, and some links for some tools that I enjoy. And I'm actually about to include a website as well that I've been working with here. I've been working with it on and off, but I've really been making use of it here more recently, and I think it's something that you may really enjoy there, Cancer. So, but I think with all that being said there, Cancer, let's get into your general energy of the day, in which it look at you King. You have the King Tide card here, Cancer, and this is a card of plenty, prosperity, and receiving the fullness of life. And I really love that, Cancer. And Cancer, sidebar, I want to say I remember looking through this deck and just kind of getting familiar with the cards, and then I went to look up something. Or I was looking up something about the super new moon or something like that. And I want to say a king tide happens when there's a super full moon during something along those lines. You have to double check on that, Cancer. But I do feel with this king tide here, Cancer, that it's very interesting because when we're thinking about plenty and receiving the fullness of life, I feel like, especially that we're talking about this in the waning gibbous phase, Cancer, we're in the waning phases in general. I feel like in order to receive this fullness of life, that it's not just all about receiving, that there is this energy of letting go as well. And I feel sometimes we can feel so intensely when it comes to that energy of letting go. We can see it as we have to sacrifice so much in order to get even a little bit. But I feel that we've just gotten to this place. This is something I was actually listening to today, so that's interesting that this popped up, that we've become as a society where it's just we do have a lot of stuff. I was actually just looking at that today, that I'm like, my gosh, I have just for clothes, for example. I was like, you know what? I need to do some cleaning, just kind of go through and seeing some stuff that that I may have these attachments to, or kind of, I feel like this Scorpio energy is because Scorpio is like a detective type of energy. Again, they're very introspective. And I feel this could be looking at the prosperity that you do have, Cancer, and what purpose is this stuff serving you? Just kind of look around. When was the last time we appreciated that, let's say we have a bunch of clutter in the garage, for example. What are we going to do with all that stuff there, Cancer? We got stuff stacked up in the attic, maybe in the closets. Just even starting with just physical, this decluttering, I feel like could be what's happening with this king tide, just in that regard. But this could even be too, Cancer. I feel like in order to receive this fullness of life, we need to check in, not just in the physical, but in the emotional, the spiritual realm as well. How have you been feeling emotionally? What are some things that we may have been avoiding with this Scorpio energy? Or not because of the Scorpio energy, but what are some things that we may have been pushing down, some emotions that we've been feeling, that we've been ignoring, that we've noticed has a certain more intense reaction than others, and getting down to that, and being a bit more inquisitive with it, finding the source and the root of that, so we can start doing some healing. Because I like that this Waning Gibbous talks about the tarot card associated with it is the Star card, which is Aquarius energy, but also it's this card of, it can be this card of healing and this card of making a wish. But I feel that And this again, I feel like this is something that we like this would you would know, Cancer. There's something that you're wanting, I feel like, for somebody. I feel like in order to get there, there are certain things that we're needing to release in order to get to this prosperity here. It's like we're reestablishing this relationship with how we manifest, and even with like abundance, maybe even in a sense, but let me get some tarot on this, because even in that, like, receiving the fullness of life, it's like we get to this place, because it's like, could we always want more? Absolutely. But there's sometimes you get all this stuff, and then it's just like, yeah, then exactly, you feel trapped, and it's just like, what are we even doing? So let me get some, see what's going on with this tarot here, Cancer. You guys get some details with this. Interesting, Cancer. Oof, a lot of swords here. So you have the Eight of Wands and the Ten of Swords in reverse. And then you have the Eight of Swords, the Nine of Swords, the Queen of Pentacles, and then the Fool card upright here, Cancer. And Cancer, I feel with this Ten of Swords here that there's this energy, because even in this receiving this fullness, this prosperity, this plenty of life, I feel it's not just all of the good, all of the what we would maybe label as good things and positive things there, Cancer. Scorpio again is about this all aspects of life. There is this, again, this intensity that's happening here, and it's even learning to appreciate the receiving the fullness of even like a tough situation there, Cancer, is what I'm feeling. It's not like I'm saying you're going to be plenty with discomfort, but I do feel we can find prosperity, Cancer, when we allow ourselves, when we don't necessarily, I get when something feels too much and we need to step away from it, but to completely numb it and to not feel it and to heal it altogether, that's a whole other thing. I feel like that slows down the energies with the Eight of Wands being here, because we're not receiving the full effect. Where I feel like there's still this, with especially with this Eight of Swords and Nine of Swords energy. This is both, all these, 8, 9, and 10 of Swords are all Gemini's cards. And Gemini is the sign of duality. They're a sign of perception and seeing how there's this observing energy I feel that's coming through here when we're kind of looking at, maybe we've been in this place where we've been wanting more. We've been feeling this place of lack. We've been in this state of anxiety. When is this abundance coming? How can I get into this? And I feel like this Eight of Swords here, there's something about the way that I feel we're thinking that is preventing this prosperity to come through there, or this fullness. It's not that I'm saying we're not in a maybe dire situation there, Cancer, but I feel this Queen of Pentacles here it's like this learning about the prosperity and the plenty that you do have there, Cancer. And I almost feel too, Cancer, because Uranus, the Fool card here, is a planet of freedom. And I feel that it's almost like for some, I feel like maybe you've even become maybe even like where the prosperity is keeping you in a cage here, Cancer, with this Eight of Swords, that maybe all of the stuff, all of just wanting plenty in abundance, but it's just like it's misguided. It feels misdirected in a sense. And I feel this Fool card is asking you to look at what plenty means for you, what prosperity means for you. Broaden that a little bit more. Go a little bit deeper. Where it is nice to have money and stuff and things, none of that matters if you don't have your health, whether this be your physical health, your mental health, your spiritual health. How can we appreciate all this plenty when we're just constantly wanting for more, in a sense? And I may even feel like for some that we've been feeling maybe the slowdown, or what we perceive, I feel like, is the slowdown of abundance in a sense, but it always, I feel like prosperity and plenty, it comes especially right when you need it there, Cancer. But because I just witnessed that actually today too. There's been someone I've been kind of talking with for a little while, and just kind of been in this sort of negative space, and it's just like I get it, and it's hard trusting in these, this experience. But then when it comes through, it's like remembering those moments, locking those in, and letting that be a guiding force when you find yourself in this tough situation again. Because it's again we know being in relationship with the moon, with her being our guide, that life waxes and wanes all the time, emotions fluctuates and things. And I just feel with this Cancer that in order to really, I feel like, appreciate and receive the fullness of this journey, we need to appreciate all aspects of it. We can't just appreciate just a part of it, and then when things are crappy, then it does, then we're not about it anymore. Like there needs to be that balance that is there. And it's not to say you're always going to be in a place of lack or in this state of place, but I feel like it can seem like that if we keep our heads in that. And again, it's not like we're being in this, like, kind of, we're not disregarding your reality in a sense there, Cancer. But when we say, we don't have money, we don't have this, that's like, this may be a little, I don't want it to sound disheartening, but like someone actually just told me I had gotten in this situation not too long ago, and they were kind of lift me up, but they were right. It's like it can always be worse, and it can always be worse, and I feel like where that may not be the again, the most uplifting things, let that be a motivator where it's just like, all right, this is just temporary, and allow yourself to feel what you're feeling. It's okay to feel defeated, and I feel like it's remembering that too, that it's okay to feel this stuff, but it's just like, is that actually the reality? Like, yes, right now things may not be great, but then we can get into this place where I feel like we start projecting stuff in the future where it's just like, no, today is fine, but I will get this prosperity. I do have the things that I am grateful for, the things that I have plenty of. Now, Cancer, I do. I hope that that translates well. But let's get another. Let's get some more tarot on this. Ooh, and there's our ruler, Cancer. Thank you, guys. Oh, and here we are, Cancer. I'm with it. So you have the Nine of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords in reverse. And then you have the High Priestess, our lovely, lovely guide, the Moon. And there we are, Cancer, the Chariot. And I been feel like we've been getting a lot of Chariot energy that's been going on here. And, Cancer, I feel like that energy is coming through with the Chariot, is that because the Chariot is this energy of momentum. And I feel for some that when we don't feel in this state of abundance, I feel with this night, with the Nine of Pentacles being here in reverse, because it feels like it's like when we're not in this, maybe for some, when we're not in that feeling in the state of plenty and prosperity, that we can get, that the energies get confused. We start throwing ourselves out of balance. And I almost feel this Chariot is this, it's almost this energy of a needing to move forward, even when we're not feeling that energy of prosperity, but not in a way that is forceful, with this Eight of Wands being here. You know, like I feel like it's not something where you feel like that everyone processes whatever situations that they're going through differently there, Cancer. And I feel with the High Priestess being here, there's this trusting in the process that is coming through here, that knowing that your plenty, that your prosperity is coming. You know, the win, I feel like it's when we choose to see it. You know, and I know how that sounds. Let's say, you know, we're waiting for like a you know, money for bills to come through or something like that, and if it doesn't come through the day that it's we're wanting it to, yeah, I can get where like it's not coming on time. But that could even be where it's like, let's say for example we're thinking about bill stuff. This could be where, okay, I may not be able to meet this time. What are some options that I can do? As and you know, instead of getting in like a Five of Pentacles energy, for example, where we're just focusing on the lack. You know, like what tools do I have at my disposal? You know, whether this be maybe I can talk with someone, maybe even get like where I can get like maybe like a loan possibly, or like, hey, can I borrow this, and then when I got you, when I get this and that, you know, or or just something here. I feel like, because I even feel with this Nine of Pentacles here that it's just like maybe for some we're used to, because the Nine of Pentacles is a very independent type of energy, wanting to be self-sufficient, self-sustaining, but maybe we're at this place where we need to ask for help. Maybe you're used to being in this Queen of Pentacles energy, but now we're in this sort of like Queen of Swords in reverse, where we're not sure what is going on, how we're going to process this stuff. May not recognize who you are. You may be entering a new chapter here where, and again, I'm not saying that like the plenty or prosperity is going away there, Cancer, but I just feel there is this new relationship or association with what prosperity and plenty means like for you. What do you truly value, as opposed to what are some maybe forced values that may have been put on us, Cancer? We feel that because we don't reach X, that we're this failure, that we're this, and we're that. And it's like, says who? Everyone else? How do you feel about it? Is this like, do you feel like, you know what I mean, Cancer? It's like, because even with the Nine of Pentacles being here, you know, what I like about reversals is that it's not that the energies aren't coming, it's they're here. It's just like there's a certain perspective or a certain mind shift that we're needing to see in order to get things back in balance, to get to that state. Because the Queen of Swords is giving me this fogginess. It's just like, you know, we're working towards abundance. We told our white lion here that we're our white tiger that we're going towards this prosperity, but now it's just like, again, when I feel like it's like when we get into this, like, when is it coming? Just look around you, Cancer, and that prosperity is here. And I hope that this is not like, I'm not trying to come across as this is like a delusional type of energy where we're not like, oh, I know, like this and that, but yeah, I do. I hope that that's landing well, Cancer. But let's get some advice from Mars and Pluto. Because believe me, Cancer, I get it. You know, when it comes to thinking about this everyday stuff, and, you know, when it comes to bills and plenty, and, you know, we talk about manifestation and all this stuff, how that can get a little frustrating sometimes. And, you know, the energies are so dense in this realm and things. But I feel there are these moments when the plenty does come through there, Cancer. And, but let me, interesting. Well, here's one of the one of the rulers here, because you have the Tower, which is Mars energy, and you have the Tower, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Four of Cups upright, Cancer. Then you have the Six of Pentacles, the Four of Pentacles, and the Four of Swords in reverse. And let's switch back over here, Cancer, because, you know, Cancer, I feel with this, with the Four of Pentacles being here, sometimes this is giving me like this hoarder type of energy. And it's not like I'm saying you need to go spend all your money, of course, or your resources, but I do feel that there is this almost like for some we may be afraid to enjoy some things or enjoy the plenty because we're afraid of it running out again, possibly. I feel with this Four of Pentacles being here, even this Four of Swords, it's just like there's no rest that's coming through here. All these fours, you know, fours are this state of balance, this state of stability, and I feel like that might be something that's on your mind. It's not that, because this Four of Cups, I almost feel like how this person seems, you know, just visibly upset, and it's like, you know, we're trying to. It's almost like the universe is trying to. How do I want to put this? You know, it's like we're looking for a certain amount or certain plenty or certain prosperity with these three cups over here that are being down. It's like when it's like once we've run out, then it's like we're not happy with. It's like everything around us there, Cancer. So I feel like that there's the Four of Cups is like it's shutting themselves off in a sense. It's what I'm getting here, and and hear me out, Cancer, because I feel with this Six of Pentacles, it is may not be you, Cancer. Maybe this is even someone that you're dealing with, but and that might be something too there, Cancer. But it is this Six of Pentacles. For some, I feel there's this energy of this ask, 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 but it's just like, are you giving anything back in return? And I don't mean just like, are we doing like community service, or it's just like, what are we doing to make space for that, Cancer? You know, like, it's just like, it's just like how are we showing up in changing in utilizing these gifts that we're receiving? In what ways are we spreading the abundance around? I feel like almost with this, and again, it's not like that we're giving up stuff just willy-nilly, but I just there's something here that a dynamic is needing to change, like a relationship, maybe with abundance, maybe with how we accumulate prosperity, or something. I feel like it's like the Four of Swords, we need to meditate on some things, you know, that and I feel, Cancer, if you're around some people, because that might be where this is stemming from. You know, maybe we've been around people who've been operating in this place of lack. And now this is something that you've maybe taken on in a sense. And we may need to be something where you need to distance yourself from that energy, possibly, maybe even a certain relationship, in order to get this chariot and moving forward towards your plenty. Because that type of energy is, you know, that lack mentality is contagious. You know, you can catch yourself getting in that type of stuff there, but I even feel too there, Cancer, for some others, that there might be this, even this energy here of, if you are dealing with people like that, then maybe there could be this needing to put up these boundaries in a sense, that maybe something is not flowing like it's just like it's a lot of you just giving, whether this be of your own volition, or this be maybe someone just always asking or expecting. But I feel there's a shift maybe in a relationship, or maybe a couple relationships, where we may be going in a little too deep, giving a little too, because Scorpio energy does deal with those, how we share assets as well, whether this be money, whether this be energy, whether this be time, you know, like how deeply, you know, how deeply invested are we in something here. But I think I'm gonna leave that there, Cancer. You know, just a little something to, while we have this extra day of leap year, just a little something to think about when when we're talking about like prosperity and plenty. Yeah, very interesting, Cancer. But if any of that, if yeah, I hope that that made sense. But if anything resonated with you, Cancer, or if you like that, give it a thumbs up and share this, Cancer. If you know someone who's been, because I even feel like this can be an opportunity there, Cancer, to receive this plenty as well. Hmm. But if you know someone who's maybe been operating from this place of lack or haven't been feeling the plenty or wondering when their wave is coming in, it's just like, I feel like it's like when we're in that state of abundance, then it's hard to be in this place of lack. And again, it doesn't, I feel like I'm just repeating myself, but, and then share this, you high priestess, you chariot, hit that bell button, get notified on all these videos each day. And then last few things there, Cancer, if, and this might be something too here, Cancer, maybe we've gotten some things maybe with this maybe there's some aspects in your chart that maybe we can kind of pinpoint, or how we've been maybe operating into a certain type of energy there, Cancer. Maybe you got some little Scorpio in your chart there. Who knows what that's looking like? But yeah, Cancer, if you're curious with where the energies are at, because it has been a lot, with where the things have been at. Yeah, definitely book a reading with me. Again, all that information is down in the description box and on my Instagram page as well. And yeah, definitely check that out, Cancer. And then when we're done checking your chart, come over. Oh, and check for your readings, Cancer. Check your sun, moon, rising, Venus. Just check your whole chart there, Cancer. Get to know yourself better. And come over to my other channel, Alchemist 8. I do weekly videos, weekly videos there, which is kind of like the astrological weather, like a weekly download, just kind of see what aspects to put on your radar there and how we can work with those energies. I do this monthly readings, which I'm going to be starting to put out here in a couple weeks. I think I'm going to do Leo's today and get started on that energy there, Cancer. And then I do yearly ones as well there. And all that housekeeping is down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise cards here, Cancer, so I can get you out of here. All right, Cancer. And you have the Two of Wands here. And I feel with this Two of Wands, I feel that it's a being mindful of where the choices you're making when we're I feel like this is you're being mindful of yourself energetically when you're making decisions. When you're doing stuff, are you operating from this place of fear, from this place of lack, or are we operating from this place of plenty, from prosperity? Receiving the fullness of this life here, Cancer. Because I do feel like, again, this is not. It's like, again, it's not ignoring the fact that of course, there could always be more. But I do feel like it's this being mindful of your guiding force on this journey, because where money and resources and things, all the stuff is nice, there's more to this experience than that. Again, receiving the fullness of this life. I feel like we've just all been so programmed towards the receiving of, the accumulation of things. Sometimes that stuff, I remember talking with someone, let me get your other oracle card here, Cancer. I remember talking with someone who's just like, like, how they were like asking me like, oh, but you don't like big houses and stuff. I was like, no. And it's like, I have no problems against someone who does. I'm not trying to clean that up. That's my thing. And they're like, oh, you can just hire a house manager. And I was like, no. Why am I going to hire someone to clean stuff? So I got to spend more research. It's doing too much. And that's kind of where, it looks differently for everyone there, Cancer. But I do feel like that it is. This is asking you, I feel like, what is prosperity for you? But then fine, absolutely. I like this because you got for your oracle card, you got the full moon and Libra card here, which is find a balance. And that's where I feel like this energy, Cancer, Libra is that energy. They're more than just relationships. They have this contract with chaos that, no matter what's going on in life, they remain balanced. They remain calm. They remain in equilibrium. And I feel that this is in receiving the fullness of this life, both the wins and the losses. How do we find that balance? How do we always stay in this state of prosperity, of plenty, of abundance? Because we are Cancer. You know, no matter what that's, we can have an abundance of creativity. We can have an abundance of, again, our health. We can have an abundance of friends. We can have an abundance of air, of water, of food. You know, like there's so much that we have. Nature. I mean, and I just feel that there is this too, just even sometimes we can look at, and this is not here, but this is giving me like a Five of Swords energy. We can get to this comparing ourselves to others. And, you know, Cancer, the stuff we see on like social media and stuff, that's superficial. You know, like we're only catching the highlights and things, but Scorpio energy wants to go deeper. People don't always show the struggle that it took to get to that state of prosperity and the struggle that they're having maintaining that prosperity, because with more money comes more problems, you know? So it's like, it's very interesting, Cancer. But I think I'm going to leave that there. So a little something to think about, Cancer. And I hope I hope that resonated, or, you know, that just translated well for you. But you stay safe out there with all this prosperity, because again, there's so much prosperity out there, Cancer. I know it can feel hard to see that, but we are so abundant, and it's just finding that, again, Cancer, finding that balance. Keep eyes on the moon, you know, tuning into these cycles, and yeah, just getting in sync there, Cancer. I feel it can really just and I will catch you, Cancer, on the next one tomorrow.